how I think we got where we are. So, the road was put in, and it was supposed to last 5 to 7 years. It started failing after year 3. And I'm not going to go into why or any of that. I believe it was the August 2025 meeting. People came with pitchforks and torches, it felt like, and we were attacked for the road being in disrepair, and lawsuits were threatened because the road was a liability. So we asked the county for their recommendations. A lot of you were at that road meeting, and the county's recommendation was we have to dig out this area and put a new basin. Let's see, we want to make sure, they said if we just lay material in there, it's going to come right back. We want to make sure that nobody's wasting money. If we just smear some asphalt, it's not going to do anything. That was the county engineer, Curtis Mayer. He also said that it makes more sense that I start over. That was the county engineer's recommendation. So I asked, just for the record, surface patching of current potholes and chip sealing over that is not a good solution. And he said, Joe said, you need a full depth dig. Okay? So that was the recommendations that we got. In November, we had a special budget meeting. No one from the public came, but we all agreed as a board, all 3 of us unanimously agreed that we would spend $88,000 fixing this road. Like it needed fixed, we would spend $88,000 fixing this road. So if the project costs over $25,000, this to my knowledge, if the project costs over $25,000, Butler County says you have to have it go through engineering. They suggested we use Schwab Eaton. We went to Schwab Eaton and we said this is what we need to do. Schwab Eaton, I don't know if I have those, came back. By the way, this is what they do for a living. They said, we believe that it is going to cost you $219,992 plus 10% we have to pay them. So that is the information that we had. Obviously that's more than our $88,000 that we budgeted for it. So at the meeting on Monday, I voted to turn the road under, but not forever, okay? Because I thought that this was a way that we could take a step backwards to go forwards within our budgetary constraints. So we would have to, Joe also said that the crown on the road was wrong. We can't fix the crown on the road if it's still solid surface, right? We can all agree the road can't be fixed, or the crown can't be fixed if it's still a solid surface. So ditches can be done when there's a solid surface at the edge, but it is immensely easier to dig the ditches correctly if you're not worrying about messing up the edge of the solid surface. So in my mind, if we started over, if we put it back to an aggregate surface, which we were going to leave the asphalt down, then it would be immensely easier to start those projects and get them completed correctly within our budget, because those are things that we could do, and we would not have to spend $219,992 in one fell swoop. I think you all can agree that we cannot, as a township, spend our entire road budget on 1 mile of road in a year. And if you disagree, we can talk about that later. However, I heard loud and clear on Tuesday after that vote that I had no business making that decision because I've never built a road in my life, which ironically excludes the majority of the people in this township. So if that's what we're basing people running this township on, then I'm not sure who you're going to get to be on this board. There's a very small amount of people in this township. I also heard that the road is not that bad. Why are we turning it under? It's not that bad. When 6 months ago, I heard that I was going to get sued because it was so bad. So, I just wanted the public to know why I voted how I voted. It was not forever. It's not because I have some personal vendetta. I got told that too. I don't have any personal vendetta against that road. I drive on that road too, okay? It is because I thought it was a way that we could go forward and not just sit here and talk about it for months on months on months within our budgetary constraints. I heard I heard you loud and clear. That is not okay. So that's where we are. I said my piece.
Okay, I met with the county on.
No.
I met with the county.
They have open forum.
I met with the county and with the county, 2 county commissioners and the engineering department, and we are going to exercise some of those exact methods to code up. We may not be able to fix all of the profile. We won't be able to dig all of the ditches. We are going to take down some trees, the one tree, if that's all right.
Yes.
And we're going to do a mild work right there on the drainage coming across the road, and trim the trees. But those will be addressed in a regular meeting. So, and we're going to work closely with Joe and Curtis on that, and that's going to happen probably in June.
So, hold on, pause. We voted on Monday I think I'm missing something. We voted on Monday to turn it under. You said it was going to happen imminently. We called this meeting to say, let's put a pin in that. So, you're saying that we're...
Yeah, we're
What are
gonna.
you
Yeah,
saying,
right. Well, I talked to Jeff Masterson, and we're gonna do some alternate avenues were given to us, and we're gonna probably exercise those, but we're gonna work closely with the engineering department. So, and we knew, and I actually, once we realized that the rain was coming in, and we had a contractor scheduling issue, then we pushed it to Monday, which would, actually be, day after tomorrow, or 2 days from today. So.
Elaborate on that a little bit, Tony. When you say there's alternate avenues, what are we talking about? And is the guy still coming?
We're talking about running rippers in there and ripping the road prior to the chip and seal and packing AB3.
Okay.
So are we still, I guess we called this meeting to vote on a board whether we are still ripping it up on Monday or not.
No, we're not ripping it up on Monday.
So we have to vote on that then.
Okay.
I make a motion to pause tearing out the road on Monday.
I second the motion. Motion carries. I've already voted. All in favor say yes, all opposed say no. I say yes.
Yes.
Okay. To clarify, we're not going to tear out the road Monday. That's just
That's right.
It's pause.
That's
Pause.
on an
It's paused.
indefinite hold.
On an indefinite hold to tear out the road. That's my motion.
So, we can still tear out the road later?
We're going
No.
to come up with a plan is what we're going to do. That's what we call this meeting to come up with a plan for this road. So, for right now, we're pausing that. So
Right.
now let's talk about a plan for this road.
I'm the three yes.
Sorry,
Okay,
I was
so-
taking
Well,
over when it's
so-
not my job, but.
Finish the vote.
Okay, finish the vote.
Colin?
Yes. To
Motion 3 yes, motion carries. Yeah, well, we've got a lot of that plan comes to light closer to when we're gonna do it because we have to do those processes right before they cap it.
Okay, will you please tell us what your conversation was with the county commissioners?
Well, on some of the fracture in the road, we're just gonna lay over some hot seal and try to seal that. And then on the spaces like where it's destroyed all the way across and down some quarter points, we're gonna rip it and we're gonna pull it, put some AB3, pack it in, put the profile on what we can right there, and
Who is doing all that work?
we're gonna work in conjunction with the contractor. I haven't got those. I've got a couple of guys that we're gonna be looking at, but I've got to get those numbers together and materials and all that.
So is that going to stay under the $25,000 threshold?
Yeah, that's another thing. I talked to Curtis and them about that, and they said well, of course, the chip and seal is going to be separate. We've got
Right.
$30,000 on the chip and seal.
right.
When it's all said and done. But I think we can probably come close.
And Curtis is okay with that.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Why the sudden change of heart? Because they're like, I'm all for it, but why are they flip-flopping all of a sudden that now we don't have to? We were told multiple times you need a full depth dig, you're not structural, you've got to start over.
Yeah, I get it too.
Well, we've gone back and forth a couple times. They said you could do this, and they said they can't. Now we're back to yes, we can.
No, I would go with yes, we can if that's what you want. So I'd roll with it.
So when is this work? Are they going
Probably,
to, hold
probably
on.
May.
So did we put ourselves back on the list to chip seal for
Yes,
this
yes.
year? And they're gonna get to us?
But yeah, we're kind of subject to their schedule. So as far as like the techniques of what we're gonna do, we're gonna have to be, you know, at the time prior to their schedule, to what the road conditions are at that point in time. But we can do other things like address some of the tree issues and trim the trees back, but I mean, we'll deal with that in regular meetings.
So moving forward, when this, are we doing a one chip seal or a double chip seal?
Single chip seal.
Single chip seal over the top of the surface patching.
But, because you're still gonna have some of that chip seal down as your subgrade. So some of the chip seal is gonna be over chip seal.
Right, that makes sense. Going forward, if it continues to fail, are we just going to surface patch and redo and surface patch and redo? Are we going to cross that bridge when we get there? I would like to have a plan.
I would say we would have to
To move
repair it the
forward.
same way we repaired it this time. And move with it that way. Because some people would rather have the surface of some sort than no surface at all.
Well, I'm happy the county changed their mind, I guess, because then it is doable within our budget, our $88,000 that we said that we would spend on this road. What are your thoughts, Colin?
Well, we've got a plan. At least we've got a starting point to get this road back in shape.
I wasn't expecting that, so that's good news.
Yes, it is. That's all we wanted, is to have a plan to get this road fixed. That's going to get it back up where it is a solid surface. That's going to be better than the gravel.
So what do we still need to do and vote on in this meeting to put this plan in place?
Well, I mean, we can't really do that. We've got to get numbers and materials, and we've got to get I'm going to get a hold of some contractors and get all that stuff figured out. I'm going to have a basic idea what we're talking about, so I can get a general bid on it. Who's going to be in those parameters?
What's the county, you had the commissioners and I assume it was Curtis out there, I don't know who. Where do they fall on all of this as far as helping us? You know, specifically, what are they gonna do, or are they just gonna?
We're getting help from the engineering and advice.
Okay,
That's it.
so, okay, but they're not gonna provide any labor, material,
Nope.
or anything like that?
Nope, they said that from the beginning.
Except
No
for
machinery, no nothing.
except for the chip seal.
Right,
Well,
at the cost.
at the cost, I'm sure.
Right, obviously.
Yes? Just step ahead.
Yeah, I was not expecting this. Great news.
Okay.
Do we need anything else?
I don't know if we need any.
I don't think at this
motion to make
meeting.
it happen. I mean, if the plans, just need to continue with the plan and start working on it again. Particularly if they're looking at doing a chip seal this year, we're talking August. That's not very far off,
Well,
actually.
It's June or July, actually.
Curtis
yeah.
said that
To do this chip seal?
Yeah,
Curtis said that he would start chip sealing in the county in May. And so I don't know if that's, I don't know if he
Weather
does,
permitting.
he does county roads
Well,
first,
yeah.
I believe.
Right.
I believe that was how it went. He does county roads first and then he gets to whatever township he has left to do. So I don't know how we get prioritized.
Well, our cars get the road ready for them.
Right, so then we need to get bids for digging those ditches, or is that something that Colson?
I don't think we're gonna
and
be able to
Brady
do that because of the fiber optics. I don't think the
We have
utilities
to be able
and stuff.
to, we have to dig those ditches out somehow.
We don't wanna take a chance on hitting the fiber optics, which are the quarter point of the backslope of the ditch. And we're gonna dig the ditch, we've got to move the ditch to the north.
How deep are those fiber optics?
Well, they're supposed to be like 4 feet, but they're not.
They're about 3 feet.
Yeah, I don't think there's not a knife that does 3 feet, but they knifed them in, so that'd be 18 inches,
And that's
I
on the north
guess.
side.
Well, can we at least get
We
it?
can get a pothole
Can we get it marked and get something done? Because
I think it
there
is
are
marked.
there are parts of the road that are, the road is the lowest point. And so this road is failing because of water. I've heard that over and over and over again. Of course, I'm not qualified to make that decision because I've never built a road. I heard that.
Well, part of what I'm doing, part of moving out the tree off of John's place and getting his permission to continue that work is doing the downstream water.
Right.
Right. and
But
doing-
I'm talking about right off of Santa Fe Lake Road
Yeah.
on the north side. There is no ditch there. The road is the lowest point. So that's where the water goes and stays.
Right, well, we'll have to get with some contractors, we'll have to take a look at that. We'll have to look into what we can do, but it takes 3 days to get a locate. So,
May I
once-
make a request?
Just a minute.
once I get locates, then I'll go ahead and answer those questions.
Okay, well, do we need a motion to get started on that, or,
No, we'll just get started on it.
okay? Yes, ma'am.
I'm the owner of the corner of Santa Fe Lake Road and 50th Street
Okay, on which side of the road?
North side.
on the north side of the road.
Okay,
I had no idea that all this was going on because I'm not part of Briarcliff. I understand most of my neighbors are Briarcliff. So I had no idea until I received a phone call saying that tomorrow somebody's going to dig up the road. So my request is I would like to be informed and part of a decision making, because as you realize that's quite a long stretch of ditch road that is my property. Are you familiar with my property? It's
Yes.
48. It's
Ann,
40
right?
acres.
It's Ann, is that correct? Yes.
I'm
And
Ann
Staples.
Staples.
so we would only be in the easement. We're not going to be digging on your property. And-
Right, from the fence to the edge of the road would be our easement.
I still would like to be aware of what's going on.
I'll let you know, I'll let you know
Yes.
what those decisions are.
Well,
I'll call you.
yes, that's my request. I'd like to be informed, so that I could have some input if necessary, as to when you're going to do it. I have 1 day notice,
Well, we're not digging up the road now, so
No,
there you go.
Can you explain how far back the easement goes off the road?
The property line, whatever, the property lines vary. So,
Different roads in the county have different easements, and I don't know off the top of my head what 50th Street's easement is.
speaking of that, can we get ribbons on those property pins? Okay, thank you.
there is an area that I'm aware of. Halfway between my gate, my entrance, and the road, the water does then flow into my property. So that probably needs some attention some way. But the flow comes down, and about halfway between my gate and Santa Fe Lake Road, it will then flow off into my property. So I'd like to be part of this discussion, or be aware of what's going on.
Is
You
the
need
water,
a pond in there anyway.
is the water crossing you, is that a natural stream, the natural flow?
Yeah.
There's a
Well, then that
culvert,
wouldn't change.
there's a culvert there across the road, comes down the hill, goes through the culvert over on Ann's place, and it goes on down to the little stream
I-
that,
We
I'd
can't
just like
change,
to be aware of what's going on.
that's
Thank you.
fair. We can't change the flow of natural streams or we get in trouble. In fact, we had a call from the Corps of Engineers, so.
Okay,
When do you shift to open forum where we can start sharing?
Can he just ask a question?
Sure, ask
Sure.
a question.
State your name, please.
Walter Kuykendall, Coykendall. I'm in Briarcliff. Part of the angst, the emotional tension you folks have encountered is based upon what this young lady said. We're out of the loop. Now, I apologize for the direct eye contact I make there. I'm very hard of hearing, so I read lips and read faces. So that's part of, people think that I'm tense because I'm looking at you face to face. part of the angst is we do not know that there's a meeting. And then you tell the county there was no input.
I didn't tell the county that. We have a meeting every first Monday of every month, 7 o'clock, right here.
Okay.
First Monday?
How do you publish this information?
We currently do not have a website or any way that we publish information. The public is always welcome. In fact, there has been quite a few people from Briarcliff at every single one of our meetings. So I don't know if they're coming as a group or individually. We do not. You can request the minutes of the meeting. They have been filmed for the last several months, so I think you can go out and watch them on YouTube.
Yeah.
We don't provide that because it's not our film. We're not doing it. That's
Okay.
the individuals.
All I'm suggesting is the tension you feel from coming from the residents is we're shocked there's something going on and now we find out about it. If you go a little bit further in incorporating the people's input, you'll find things will level off very quickly. We might actually agree with much of what you're doing, but we're shocked when we find out there's activity going on. It's like you have violated Kansas open meetings laws.
That was not done. I know it was accused. That was not done.
Yeah, that's all I'm
Well, if
suggesting.
you wanna know, we're fixing to do a little ditch project right in front of John's place. All we're doing is stop the erosion. We're doing probably a 5x9 riprap.
Right,
Yes.
And
right,
reestablish ditch. I mean, is that what
Right.
you're getting at, is what you wanna know, or?
Everything that this township does, how do we become aware of it?
You come to the meetings.
Yeah, come to the meetings.
We really don't have a mechanism to put anything out there to the township. That's why it's standard, and it has been published, that we have our monthly meetings the first Monday of every month at 7 o'clock. And everybody's welcome. So, and
Yeah.
that's the best way to find out.
Okay. I'm only suggesting there's a lot of people that live in the township don't know that.
We can't personally contact everyone who lives in the
Not
township.
suggesting that. Possibly something in a Facebook post that we could just scan and just make ourselves aware of. It'll take some of that tension way down where people are aware of what you guys are doing and the opportunity for input, questions, hearing it as it's being developed. Because I did listen to that county commission meeting where you spoke for a few minutes. There was very evident, coming from the county commissioners, there's a lot of tension. A lot of tension. If you folks will step across that line and unwind some of that, help us to know what's going on, you'll find that will dissipate very quickly.
They specifically said in that meeting that you violated the coma.
They
Yes.
accused us of violating the coma. I did not. I was not participatory. I would just like that stated too. I do not appreciate being accused. I did not violate coma. I did not get with either of these gentlemen before the meeting. Tony sent this out. This document is what I was referring to in the meeting when I made my decision, and that was sent out, I believe, around 3:30 Monday afternoon. And so I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I'm not stupid.
Well,
And
my
so when
understanding-
can I finish my sentence, please? When he sent that out, I was kind of put two and two together. Okay, he sent us this paper, and he sent us 2 bids for closing the road, and another thing was about cemeteries.
Yeah.
And so I put 2 and 2 together and said, you know what, I bet this is coming to a head tonight. I didn't have anything to do. I didn't know he had a contractor ready to go. And I do not appreciate being accused like that. It didn't happen.
So Tony told me that the vote that he's been trying to do for the last 5 months, that it was actually
4 months, but yes.
4 months, that he was trying to do it at every meeting for the last 4 months.
Right.
That was going to happen.
And first we had to get a Schwab and Eaton bid, and we got that. It was high volume. They didn't
You
like that.
said-
Go ahead.
My understanding is that you wanted to bring this to vote, which was news to me from the meetings that I attended and to also what I was, watching the meetings from the video. That was never the impression that I got. It was also never the impression that ripping up what's currently there was a starting point. That was never said in the meeting last week, that it's trying to start over. That was never communicated. And also, I don't like being accused of saying that I had certain notions about people's knowledge or lack of knowledge or information or other things. I don't like that because that's not anything that I did, and I don't like it assumed that I did.
I was wondering, I got something brought to my attention. It was a warning that went out, and the roads being closed and all this. Well, that made back to the ambulatory, the fire department. So then I have to call, and they're rerouting medical stuff. So if you guys are going to put stuff out like that, you guys are change the format of the emergency medical systems and stuff. But I corrected that. And so if the road is going to be closed, I would appreciate it if you let us notify dispatch and put something out there, because then I got Rex Stevens
That
calling
came
for the
from
Benton
Briarcliff HOA. That came from Briarcliff HOA after you said that you were closing the road.
Yeah.
They have to let the
Right.
residents know. You're not gonna let the residents know.
And it was 2
Well, I was going to
days.
call dispatch because that's part of the protocol.
That's fine,
and
but you're not gonna let the residents know.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, before you put something out like that, look at the ramifications of it.
I mean, I think if everybody watches the 7-minute
Yeah.
clip of Tony in front of the county commissioners on Tuesday morning, I've never seen a dress down like that in my life. I mean, that tells the whole story right there. I mean, and I believe that they asked you to resign, and I'd like to make a motion that you do that. You seriously consider resigning.
Well, thank you, John, I'll take that into consideration.
I think you really should.
Okay, I heard you. Is there anything else?
The last homeowners or township meeting, my observation was there was several of us that wanted to use some input, and you basically said, we're not taking anything. We're not taking it. We had right before the meeting started, but that wasn't the issue. The issue was regarding the road. There were other issues discussed, but as soon as someone raised their hand to comment, you said, we're not taking that stuff.
When you go to the county commissioners meeting, you have 3 minutes to speak. There's no obligation for them to answer your questions, it's not a Q&A. When you go to the planning and zoning, you have the time to speak. And then after that, you're seated and you have no more involvement in that meeting. The school board's the same way. This meeting will be produced the same way of that.
You had an obligation to listen to one of the members that was trying to make a statement, and you shut it off, and we're not taking input. Right before the meeting, where it was 2 to 3 to go with tearing up the road.
Everyone was able to make their public comments.
Before you guys discussed the
Before
road
you even-
situation, before
yeah.
the road situation. The biggest issue why
Right,
people
that's public
came
comments.
was because of the road issue, and they tried to have comment, and you shut them down. So, no, you're not taking input.
Everyone was blindsided.
Okay.
It's in the video, look at it.
I was there, I know, I said, it was a gentleman right here, and I
Right,
said, I'm sorry,
exactly.
public comment is closed.
Why?
Because what happens is this right here, it just turns into an attack. And so, I'm not the one who is supposed to be running these meetings. I know I've taken over this one because I'm just,
Yeah,
but you're speaking calmly,
you're fine. We're having
Um,
a civil discussion.
so-
Nobody's
That's why
attacking
we
or
come.
yelling.
That's why we
At
come
this
to
one.
these meetings.
at this one, John.
Yeah.
So, the trustee who runs the meeting has said that public comment is going to be limited. So I was just following the protocol that had been outlined, and public comment was over.
Which is the same decorum, same agenda as the county commission has, yes.
Well, that's a good point. So I watched the county commissioner meeting and I saw the comments at the beginning, and then I saw Pat Taggart. He showed up near the end, and they allowed for further
God,
comment.
which I don't know how that happened.
So, but so
They do
when
allow.
when there's public comment, right? And then there's a discussion about a very important decision, and a decision is made. I would recommend and request that then public comment be reopened up to discuss the decision that was made. Because to your point, right? There was a decision. Hey, Wednesday, I think is what the original decision was. It's going to be torn up. And then so when we left this meeting, right, the board at HOA, hey, we need to push out some information to the neighbors to make them aware that this road is going to be closed. And so that was done, right? And maybe it was, you didn't appreciate that, but it was just trying to inform people because as you understand, there's a lack of notifications being made. So I think again, we all need to remain calm and have these civil discussions. Like no one's pointing fingers or getting mad. I understand that there's been some heated meetings in the past, but we're concerned. We have some recommendations and I appreciate you listening to them.
Thanks.
Yeah, John Covey. I also live in Briarcliff as well, and I can appreciate the stance that you're in. Some of us actually have background in engineering and those type of things, and I think our concern to start with was you turning under the road. I mean, that was our concern from the very beginning, which is why we showed up. At least that's why I showed up. Because I heard that the road was in disrepair. I heard that there's been discussion in the past about that should have never been a paved road. And so the whole concern was turning it under, which is why everybody showed up, first of all. Second of all, I think that many of us wanted to provide input, but we weren't given a pathway to do that. And some of us do have backgrounds in civil engineering. Drainage is my background. I do these things.
What was your name?
John Covey.
John Covey. Why didn't you call me John?
So
Why didn't you call me outside of the meeting? John,
again.
Did you not? Did you not contact me? Are we contacted here?
Excuse me.
And yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah. So again, what I'm trying to say, when you are considering a serious decision like this, before you just close the doors or immediately jump through your own hoops. I've been through this in other states that I'm licensed in, that you really need to have a public forum to garner that interest and come up with a long-term plan of how you're going to address it. You don't address this in 1 year. I 100% agree with you. I've helped townships and counties build plans for their own road maintenance and things. You don't do it in all 1 year. But what you can do is say over the next course of the next 5 years, the next 10 years, we're going to do drainage, we're going to do tree trimming, we're going to patch this section of road. For instance, 50th is a perfect example. You got 2 hillways, there's line of sight issues with construction, you have to manage that traffic control, that's a very serious safety issue. You can design a plan, a long-term plan, to keep up and maintain the road over time. The problem is, and what we've asked for from the very beginning, and we can go back and read it, I myself included, let's come up with that long-term plan and then vote on that, because that's what's going to inform your budget over the next 5 to 10 years. Not, I got $88,000 this year, I got to solve all the world's problems this year. That is never going to happen. It will never happen. And you're right, it won't happen. But let's build a long-term plan to keep it up. And we can work with the county. The county has offered to help, it sounds like now, which is great. We can build that long-term plan now so you all can budget it into the future. And there's a lot of things you can do with this road that is not just putting Band-Aids on it. You can do things. You can dig out sections that you know are failing, redo the base. You can do that over time. Don't do it all in 1 year. Do it over time. So I would just consider that, and I would consider the next time you're going to make a serious decision, like turning under a paved road that people are literally buying property adjacent to it. They're building homes because of that paved road. It's one I did a mini traffic analysis myself of that. It is one of the most highly trafficked road in the township for what you control. So if you would just consider that, I think that would be good, and I just want to provide clarification. You all turned down, you're not going to tear up the road now from the last vote you just did right now, right? Okay. So the next time, are you going to come back with an actual plan of how you're going to address this and then vote on that so that we all can be informed on what you're
Probably
planning?
going to come back with some of the tasks that need to be done before the road gets maintenance to get turned under.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some tasks that have to be done there.
Yeah, I mean, drainage, utility relocate, all that type of stuff
Yeah,
are issues in the way, so
Problem
yeah.
with the utility relocation is that they don't have to relocate their utilities. That's part of the problem, especially with Idea Tech and the velocity and everything. I mean, that was in the county.
Yeah, and there's ways around that, but yeah, I understand the challenges there. So that is the plan, though. You're not going to turn under the road
Correct.
right now, and you're going to come up with a plan of how to maintain it. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Right.
why don't we speak after the meeting,
Okay.
if you got some time?
So,
Okay.
can-
And,
Thank you, John.
my concern is that the other people that are on 50th Street, you know, we've got Briarcliff here, but there are other people, like people across the street from me, for instance. Have they been informed about this road situation? They have?
I've
Well, why
talked to-
wasn't I informed?
I talked to a couple of them, they called me about it, so.
But why was I never informed about it? I have a long piece of that road,
I
you
know
know
you do.
that.
I know that.
And being selfish, forgive me, but if you tear up that road, you're tearing up my value of my property.
We're
So
not gonna
it would
tear that
affect
down.
me quite a bit if it was turned back to a dirty, dusty road from what it is today. My property would go down in value. And as you all know, I've had that property for 1978. I think we bought the property in 1978. I lost my husband 20 years ago, and I still managed to keep the place going. And it would affect me. So, again, what are these other people on the road, other than the Briarcliff group, gonna be informed about this? Shouldn't they be informed about this?
I think, Colin, you should maybe put out something for that.
We don't have email addresses, there's
I was
no,
gonna say, we
there's
don't
no
have
way
any-
for us
We don't have a
to
mechanism for that right now.
call or email everyone in the township, there's just not. So at this
Wow.
point in time, unless we set up a website that people can go to,
Technically not a website, just a Facebook, just something.
I can only imagine what would happen at a Facebook group.
All I'm suggesting
I'm
is,
not excited about that at all.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So there's no good way to communicate with everyone in the township. So that's why the meetings are open, well, because Kansas requires it, but the meetings are open so that the public can
So
come
there's
and be
not
informed.
there's not a list of the people that are part of this township?
It's on the public to be
I mean,
diligent. That's-
no, unless we went extensively. Yes, I could probably go and search, do a parcel search of every single property. That's not really
Feasible.
feasible.
Okay.
They'll go throughout the whole township.
Okay, Colin, do you have anything else?
Not on this, no.
Is there anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion, got a second? All in favor say yes, all opposed say no, I say yes.
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 Meeting is adjourned. Thanks for coming, everybody.